Can you see all my emotional support liquids? You're currently on 2 pop-up parade boxes. And if that isn't the state of this house, it's... I was self-conscious at how white my skin was reflecting back on my neck, so I put on a turtleneck. Welcome back to the craft corner. We do not know what we're doing. The Silky Crayons. You see crayons? Crayons. I don't know, fight about it. The Silky Crayons. I have seen these all over TikTok. To the point that I like don't want to see any more of them actually. So sorry for contributing to the content centered around these. People say it's like drawing with lipsticks. People say it's like oil pastels. People say right? And there's exactly one creator that I've seen that has like been relatively forthcoming with information. Like, oh yeah, these layer like this, or like you can erase with water. I think it comes with a brush. But like, I have so many questions. So I bought them. I'm not sponsored. Wish I was, because then I would be making a little bit of money, but here we are to my 4 viewers. I love you. My questions are, how does it feel to draw with them? Is it truly like drawing with a lipstick? 2, does the type of paper matter? 3, I've seen... My first fear with these was, like if you close your sketchbook, does it fuck up, right? Does it rubs away? Does it smear everywhere in an ungodly way? People kind of talk about it, but they don't talk about it. So we're gonna try it. We're gonna try them on a couple different things today. We're gonna start with this one. I think it's dot paper, if I'm being honest. Yeah, there's like tiny little dots, but as you can see, it's black. The paper is black. So I want to like swatch them on a black piece of paper to see if that does anything. We're probably gonna do that one not first, actually, because that's kind of a very specific test. Secondly, this is an old sketchbook from my college days. We're gonna just do it on regular sketchbook paper. Just regular old sketchbook paper. I'm okay with destroying this, like destroying paper in here. This is not the sketchbook I'm currently using. I'm currently using it looks crazy. I'm currently using this guy. I think this is a moleskine, however the fuck you want to say that. But it has my name embossed into it because it was a gift from my friend for a Christmas when she worked there. So like this one I really have only been using like graphite pencil, right? And don't worry, this page will get finished eventually. But Ruda's... Anyway, sorry. As you can tell, I'm very into Gachiakuta right now. That's why my face looks like it does right now. Shy Lily was on the screen, on the screen because I read it on my phone, right? I do collect it. She's up there. Shy Lily was on the screen for exactly 4 seconds, and I was like, this is it! So, I love her. Your Honor. She had exactly 3 speech bubbles, probably, maybe like 4 or 5. And I was like, that's the love of my life right there. I want to be her. She's stunning. I want to cosplay so bad. I want to cosplay her so bad. I'm gonna be so honest. I need a colored page of her to release like immediately because I need to know what wig. I say this as if I'm not unemployed right now and can afford. So, regular sketchbook paper, black paper, and then Bristol Board. Because Bristol Board, excuse how scuffed this looks. I've also had this for about 5-10 years. I like never use Bristol Board because it's so smooth. It's so smooth it kind of makes me freak out. But I want to know if Bristol Board and like the lack of texture does anything. I wish I had watercolor paper because watercolor paper is kind of like textured. We'll see because I don't know anything. I don't know anything about these. Once again, not sponsored. This is just my pure unfiltered thoughts. If I could sell them to you, I would. Okay, but be honest, do I look fucking sick or what? Okay, so because my brain is like actively melting at any given point in time, I forgot to tell you the other fears that I have with these crayons. So we're gonna do that as I set up before I forget. One of them is, do they go over pencil? They go over pencil. If they do, does it smear the pencil? Does it mess them up? Besides paper types, we're also gonna go over pencil, not over pencil, with water, without water. You know, the gambit. Because I really want these things to be cool. They're, like, I mean, I have fucking 36 of them. 32, 36, 36 of them now. So, please go over pencil. I hate doing things without pencil sketches because I'm anxious, insecure even sometimes, but how can I be insecure? Literally. Welcome to my coffee table. I love all the random shit you can see on the sides of this shot. It really makes it feel like my workspace. Okay, anyway, before we start any of this, I want to do just like a flat. Then I want to do like hard pencil, like over lines and stuff. Yeah, sure, I believe in that. I also don't know. I do. Okay, I appreciate the aesthetic that they're going for with the funny little bear ears. It's cute as hell. I appreciate it. All of these having little like bear faces. Hilarious. Love it. My question is, these don't have like names or anything on them, do they? No, not that I'm aware of. They just have the brand name. Okay. Because how are you gonna, this is the pencil, the pencil, the brush. Oh my god, it's so little. My hands are not big, by the way. Like this is a tiny baby. They don't have any names on them. They don't even have like numbers. So like, how am I gonna, like if I swatch them all, will it matter, right? Whatever. Do you want to go in the Roy G. Biv? Let's just dump all these hoes out. No. You just watched me come to consciousness and realize I need to have a little bit of self-control. Okay, let's see. Let's start with pinks. I feel like these guys are orange. I really should just dump all them out. I tried to have a rhyme or reason, but I couldn't do it. She's like a mulberry. She could go purple or red. I only get 3 shades of red, but like 15 shades of brown. Green. We have a lot of greens in here. Yeah, see, what do you mean you give me 3 reds and like 14 greens? What is that? What is that? Okay, so let's get these situated. Whoa, that does feel like drawing with a lipstick. It's super soft. Whoa, that's crazy. Pastels are definitely chalkier, so not what we're going for. Oh, can't see that one. Good. It means it's a good white. Yeah, these are crazy feeling. Off rip, awesome. Like just the feeling of them is really cool. They're like crazy soft. I'm afraid, so I'm a very heavy-handed artist. So this, like I push really hard on a lot of things. So I am kind of actively, that's crazy fluorescent. I am actively not pushing as hard as I normally would on these, just because they're so soft. I'm a little bit afraid that I would like squish them into the paper, right? So that's something to keep my brain on when I come back to these, when I use these more often. If I use these more often, right? Is that gold? No. I just wanted to know. I wanted to know if it like had metallic, because that fluorescent's fluorescent, but it didn't come off of my fingers now. Hold on. A little bit. My fingers look grubby. No one look. I'm a really kind of heavy-handed artist. Like, let me show you my Apple Pencil. Hold on. Like, I know when using Procreate, like, I don't have to worry about, like, brush... Like, I don't have to push really hard to get really good brush pressure. Can you see the metal tip of this showing through? Yeah, I need a new nib on this really bad. But, like, I push really hard. Like that nib isn't like old by any means. I push real hard on a lot of the things I use. I'm gonna pick the lightest one and go over pencil with it. So you can see pencil through these. It doesn't look like it picked up any of the pencil on here. Let's use a darker color. See what happens. Yeah, you can definitely see pencil through them. Okay, good to know. Because even in a darker color, you can see that. Can I move this around with my finger? Yes, I can. Can I move this one this way? Yes, I can. And you can also see that the pencil moves under it. So it's not like it seals your pencil in. Okay, good to know, good to know, good to know. My other problem already, just like off cuff, is they don't have colors like on them. Like they don't have names on them. If I am to try and swatch all of these and then find the exact color that I wanted, like say I keep this swatch page and I'm like, okay, this is the color I want. I'm not gonna know, right? Like I'm gonna be like, oh, I really like this red. Okay, well, is it this one or is it this one, right? Like just in long term, like obviously I'm gonna remember right now, but in the long run, because I don't remember anything anyways, be for real, I have a feeling I would be like, shit, if I were to like be drawing and pick the wrong color essentially, right? Because I had a vision. Okay. Oh, nice to meet you, little pink. Oh, that's way more blue. That's way more blue than I thought it was gonna be. Okay, interesting. That feels like something that should have come out of like a mixture of these two. So we shall see. I think when it comes to these, you just have to go based off vibe. Whoa, that's also not the color I expect to come out of that. That's the color I would expect to kind of come out of that. Ooh, that one reminds me of the ghost in the Haunted Mansion. Yeah, see, I can see myself switching these two. Like, just in my head from the box. I know that these are like for kids. They're like literally marketed as for children. Like, give these to your kiddos. That's a pretty good peach. But I don't know. I feel like a kid would ruin these in a second. And maybe that's me just being precious with my things. So obviously still super visible. Definitely moves when you put your finger to it. And so does the lead. In the same vein. Oh, these two are kind of similar. This one has a little bit more pink to it. So let's see what happens when we put colors that are like super similar next to each other. It's not on here. I'm tempted to do a really dark and then do a really light over it to see what happens. Like immediately. They mix immediately. Is it on here? Kind of. Can I wipe it off with my finger? Yes. Okay, so they clean up relatively easily too. When you're mixing them on top of each other, they definitely mix colors. Okay. It doesn't super work like it works a little bit more like a blending layer, like an overlay or a multiply, if you will, instead of like a wash, right? Unit eraser, pencil sharpener. I feel like these two are pretty damn similar, so we'll see what happens when we use either of those. Can I smear it now? Yes. Okay, so it definitely, like the longer you sit, it's not like paint. The longer you sit it, the more it can... Oh, okay, cool. The longer it sits, it doesn't matter. What we've learned. Tight. Okay, so what if we go... Okay, it blends out, but people say that they've been like using water as like erasing, and I don't see that happening at all. So once you lay down that color, that's your color, you know? And it also, like, it blends, but you can also see, like, where the edge of your stuff is. Where the edge of it was originally. Let's go. I have to warm this bitch up. She's definitely, tight. Okay. This has been with me since 2017, too. Ah, I love her. Okay, let's go over here. I know that you're supposed to just like press and lift, but she's not awake enough for that right now. Wait, let's use this one. Let's put this one in my pocket. Let's put my kneaded eraser in my pocket. Solid erase. Definitely still see the lines there. Great, what we were going for. Let's go here. Even erased and lifted, the fluorescent still shows pencil. That doesn't show pencil, but you can tell that it picked up where the pencil was. Like, it's definitely, I don't know how to explain that. You can see like the ghost of the idea of the pencil in there. Like where the pencil like pushed into the paper, it definitely like skipped. Okay, let's use black, why not? I'm not expecting to see pencil through this. You saw it there for a second, right? Like it skips, like right here. It skipped where the pencil was pushed into the page. On the edge of it, let's see what happens. The more you go over it, the more smooth of a finish you get. You can still see pencil, but you don't get as much of it. Super light pencil that's already smudged out, you can't super see. You can definitely see some of this in there, like a fill. You can even see the texture under it. Press super deep into it, it skips. And then over pencil, you can definitely see it over pencil. Okay, that makes me a little nervous, I'm gonna be so honest. Yeah, see, I already can't tell the difference between my yellows and my oranges. I would like a pretty true yellow. I'm probably gonna go with that one. But maybe that one, because like maybe I don't want a true yellow. Maybe I want something more golden. First, I really like the texture of them. I am very aware that I am not pushing as hard as I normally do when I'm like working with it. Yeah, see, you can see this kind of dried down now. It doesn't erase. Definitely doesn't erase. I have heard that you can take your finger and kind of scratch it off. It lifts, but it definitely doesn't go back to, like, it doesn't erase. So the reason that I actually got these is because they reminded me very much of Sun from Five Nights at Freddy's. I really wanted, let's lay down a solid kind of, okay, wait, if I color in one direction and then another direction, doesn't matter. You know how like they do that with pencil, how you can like definitely see the direction of your pencil strokes? Okay, I'm not seeing it here. I still am catching myself not pushing as hard as I normally would because I'm afraid of how much I'm depositing on the page. Okay, no, because they're like drawing with the lips, you can kind of see the different directions I drew or was coloring with these. Like if in the light, like if I'm like leaning my body this way to like really look at it, you can see it, but they kind of smudge all together. Let's see, hold on. Wow. Okay, that's a good bit of product in there. That's a good bit of product in there, but once again, this is my first day, first time opening, cracking these babies open, you know? So we'll see how long these last as we explore together. Anyways, back to the reason I bought these. They remind me of Sun from Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach. And if you know anything about me, if you've collected anything from the background of my videos, it's that I am unwell for that little man. I'm unwell for that tired daycare man. Love him very much. Okay, so let's see. I'm layering a lot of colors that are very similar. And I can't super see a difference from where I'm sitting. I'm wondering what happens when I put a lighter color. I'm trying really hard not to smudge them with my fingers on purpose, but you could see me like want to go in and do that. I want to see how they perform on their own. I want to see how they perform on their own before I do anything kind of crazy with them. I can see that I put that peach in there, but maybe I want to darken it up. Because, like, not the peach, this piece. I want there to be, like, a very obvious shift between both sides. They're starting to kind of slip and slide on each other. I think that's because I have a lot of layers on there. It's super painterly, kind of beautiful in that regard. And see, I would like to pick this one, but I don't remember which one it is. Can't get a whole lot of control out of them. Like super precise precision control out of them, because they're just like really big at the front, right? And it's already super dull. So if you're trying to get like crazy precision, I don't think you're gonna get it out of these. But so far they feel really fun to play with. I think Sun would appreciate me going kind of rogue with my creativity and not caring about how my stuff turns out. That or he'd hate it, because in Help Wanted 2, he's like, ugly, next. One of these I'm gonna try smudging out with my finger to see if that does anything, or if water is the way to go when it comes to these guys. So let's try finger first. Let's blend it this way, because that's the way we want it to blend. Okay, not the worst blend in the world, but definitely not the smoothest transitioning happening there. Still kind of giving candy corn. Let's try another one. Ooh, let's do finger smudge with this one. And then go over it with this, with the water. Ah, so that really dragged out some of that orange instead of the yellow. Wondering if I should blend it this way with that. Oh, gross. That was my fault. I overworked the paper. This paper is not meant for water. This one with just the water method. And I'm not using a whole lot of water just because I'm very aware that this paper doesn't take water super well. This is how you get your precise lines in there. Okay, okay, okay. It still definitely doesn't, see this? Like, see how there's like super harsh lines down here still? I bet you could get a really beautiful like painterly style with it though. It does kind of drive me crazy that they gave you a square brush over a round brush. I have a tattoo of a paintbrush, and it is like it's like the tiniest little detail brush because I love a pointed brush. Let's smudge this one out with my finger because that's what we were doing up here. We got better gradient with that, but still not my favorite. Yeah, see, there's kind of harsh lines on all these guys now of that orange. So water does work to blend them like super well, but I'll have to try these on like a watercolor paper or something, see if that does anything. I also want to take a brush that is not wet and see if that does anything in here. It does come up. Okay, so it does pick up stuff. That was a dry brush. Interesting. Okay, so mostly dry again. Let's use that down here. This may just be the way that the paper reacts to water, right? But it's a very interesting thing. Okay, okay, I kind of like that. Kind of did something with that there. You can like still see the brush strokes in it. It's not quite as flatly smoothed or overworked as those two. Let's get that water up off there. Okay, I like the dry brush method, honestly, more than the wet brush method. Because you have a little bit more control over like how far you blend. Because let's be real, we're looking from dark to light, right? And we should really be working light to dark. Because yellow is a delicate color. But I want the gradient to pull out, not in. Okay. Okay, I see it. Let's see if we can go over one that's already blended out with my fingies with a dry brush and get some of that orange kind of worked into there. I have a feeling the answer is gonna be no. Yeah, I didn't think so. Because we've already moved around like the top layer of pigment, and that's what it's latching on to mostly. It's not latching on to like the stuff on the page, it's latching on to what's ever sitting on top of the page. And because it's not like it doesn't absorb into the page, it definitely sits on top of. Can't blend it out once it's already been blended. Okay, good to know, good to know. I am liking this though. I like the kind of like childlike kind of swirls we get out of that. The childlike mark making, the joy that comes out of these when you have that kind of mark being made. Definitely taking more time to like blend them than lay it down. So I guess with these, for my personal use, you kind of block it in. You block your color in. The problem is that they can't really go over pencil, for me personally, because I love a pencil sketch. Put pencil over, see what happens with that. Okay, so if I were to put pencil over, you can definitely feel that you're drawing like not on paper at this point. Like there's definitely like a layer between the paper and the pencil. It's highly unappealing for my textural adventure. But then can you put, I don't know if you'd be able to put like detail over. That's what we're doing here today, friend. Let's see what happens when we add white, because this is the next thing we're gonna add over here is white on top of it. She's eaten alive, okay. Okay, so white definitely doesn't lay over. Like you have to put down the white first, which is making me nervous now because, hold on, let me have to color in his little neck. So definitely work from light to dark because light doesn't go over dark very easily in these. Even when dark goes over light, you can really see, I don't know if it's picking up on there, but I can really see like the ghost of neon fluorescent yellow past. Because Sun's little smile has to go through here. You're not gonna be able to see it. Okay, yeah. See how there's actually no change in that? Definitely gets on there. Let's see if we can rub it off. Yes. For the most part, I would say. Yes, okay. Well, let's get peach in here then. Okay, not the worst. I do wish that the white kind of came through, right? Just because I would like his eyes to be like a bright white. But you can see those colors like mixing, but not really laying down a white. Okay, okay, lesson learned. With giving you eye bags, bitch, same, okay. Yeah, so people who say you can erase, definitely liars. You can't erase. At least I would not consider this erasing. I'm gonna be so real. Okay, so if you're looking for like crazy precision, maybe not it. And I'm sure like as you practice, you'd get better at it, right? But as it stands in my current opinion, off rip, first time I've ever used these. One, I wouldn't consider this erasing. I wonder how muddy they get, like super fast. I'm not sure about that yet either. My thought would be for highlighting, you would definitely have to get like a gel pen or something. And even then, I don't even know if a gel pen would go over this. Okay, so that moves like crazy. Red, and this is coming from a lithographer, like I used to do lithography. Red is a notoriously hard pigment to get to stay in place. Like red likes to move, so it doesn't surprise me. At least in the lithography practice that I had, red liked to move. So because Miss Red liked to move, this doesn't surprise me that red is like the loosiest, goosiest color we've had so far. Yeah, I wish that I could like some white into here to like really get the highlight in there. But other than that, honestly, I see the vision. I see why people like these. You just really have to have like a painterly style. Like if you don't super like the idea of not having complete control over your finished piece. If you're into the mark making of art, I guess, and not, if you're into the process, these are fun. If you're really worried about like the end result to the point that you like kind of have anxiety over it, which like believe me, been there. I'm trying to be more loosey-goosey with my own art, which is a big reason why I got these, to see if I could not want to die without like super concise control over it. They're fun so far, and they move really nicely. So let's move on to the other paper type. Next, I think we're gonna do Bristol Board because they're both like white, right? So it shows you a yellow piece of whatever. Shut up. Oh wait. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought that was gonna be. Whatever. Okay, sorry. I've never seen an episode of South Park in my life, would you believe that? I'm not gonna swatch them again because this is truly just white still. Not super worried about that. So, my thoughts here are, and prayers, girl. My thoughts here are start light, go dark. Because my biggest thing was that like the white can't layer over so far, which is fine, very normal for art supplies. You can go light to dark, you can't go dark to light a lot of the time. Like that's just the way the value works. Like you can go red, orange, no, you can go yellow, orange, red, but you can't go red, orange, yellow, right? Like when you're like in layers. So let's see, let's go. I want to save Moon for the black paper, so I've never drawn Glamrock Freddy. Let's go. Oh, his ears aren't connected to his head. I don't know. This is also me drawing them from memory, and it's been a very long time since I've like seen someone play Security Breach. I'm also afraid that if I set my sleeve down, I'm gonna smudge it. So that's another thing that like I'm realizing I'm like actively hovering above the paper more than like I normally would. Shut up. Man, I don't remember what his thing like looks like. I know that he has like this. I swear it goes out though. Oh man. Does it come out to a point? I feel like it does. Okay, Diva. I can feel myself not drawing how I'd normally draw, and that's kind of bothering me. Like, I'm very aware of, like, where I'm letting my hand rest and where I'm not letting my hand rest. I'm kind of fearing that, and because of that, I also don't want to get it on my clothes. I'm afraid that I'm gonna get it all up on like the edge of my sleeve. And let's learn right now. Together. Yeah, it kind of shows up, but not that bad. You can see that it like kind of mixes with the orange when it touches it, but not so much that it turns things, like it goes kind of green. But not so much that I like hate it. It just like shows you the ghost of mark making past. He's got that little red earring. He's got that little red earring on the gate ear. I'm not sure which ear is the gate ear. And let's see if we can even just use an eraser on this. The answer is no. Okay. That definitely smoothed out a lot of that color. Oh, that was kind of a slay. That felt really nice to do. Doesn't move as much as I thought it was going to for Bristol Board, because I thought that maybe that was gonna be like whack, and then like whack, right? Just strictly based off of how like slick this isn't compared to other pieces of paper. Let's see if this can go over this. Ready? Okay, you can super see the different directions my my stroke game is going currently. So let's see if, and let's just do this all in one direction to see if that. It definitely doesn't move as much with water as my brain initially thought. Doesn't mean that it's wrong, doesn't mean that it's anyone's lying to you, doesn't mean that it's bad even. Oh, that was so smooth, that was nice. That felt nice. Okay, that went kind of nicely. That blended nicely. I'm wondering if it's because it's over something wet. I'm wondering if finger over wet is what did that for us just now, because that is fucking nice. That is the best blend we've gotten today. That's as thin as I could have gotten that. Like, that is ugly to me. I don't like that. That dark brown does not want to be here. It either wants to show up real bad or be like, fuck you, get out of my face. And there's no in between. I also pulled up a photo of Glamrock Freddy. I am not that far off. I'm relatively proud of my brain for remembering all that. See, I would never draw like this, like up in the way that I am right now. I have a feeling it's because I'm afraid. Normally I'd be like down here. But also, I'm realizing that I'm kind of being loosey-goosey with these in general. Like, more loose than I would be, like, with a pencil. Because I've been given the opportunity to, right? If that makes sense. Like, these give you the opportunity to be a little bit more loose with it than, say, a regular pencil. Just because there's so much surface area you can use on these things. They're definitely getting stickier on my fingers, and I think that's just because I have a lot of layers of them now on my fingers, and that is becoming a textural nightmare. I don't like that very much. Like, I can't quite figure out how the erasing works with this. But then, like, it suddenly happens, and I'm like, oh good heavens. You can also see that I picked up some red on, like, this edge, and it got into here. Not the worst thing, but there's definitely, like, some color movement happening. I definitely got his head shape wrong. We definitely have like an early animatronic head shape going on right now. I think we've got a good enough read on how these move on Bristol Board. It's very similar to how it was moving on the paper. But I don't really feel like I have to put too much effort into the rest of this. What a man. All right. Hold on, Fred, your earring's missing. Alright. Not the worst thing I've done in my life. I think with that, the one thing that I really want to try with this is to really see how far it goes. So I'm just gonna slap some blue down here. See that? Yeah, see, like, it moves, but, like, I'm putting, like, effort into that. And you can kind of see where things are happening here. Like, where the pigment being put down and where the blend is happening, even when the blend is coming back. And then let's go here. This is a lot of water. And see, it doesn't super, like, yeah, now I'm overworking the page. You can see it, right? So that's what we want to avoid. And then let's do a little water up here. Yeah, these move in such an interesting way. Like, once you've actually laid them down, they're not the easiest thing to work with. Once again, I think if you're, like, being super loosey-goosey. Oh, see how that lifted? Ooh. Interesting. Once again, could be me overworking the page, but I don't think so in this regard, in this moment. Okay, interesting. Interesting. Now I'm sure this is the piece we've all been moderately waiting for. How it goes over black paper. Okay, so there's a couple of things that I really want to check on this. Okay. Mutes are down. Yeah, that's bad. Bad isn't an ugly color, like not because like there's anything wrong necessarily with these, but they're not as super opaque as they read on white paper. Like they read really dense on white paper, but when it comes to here, black piece of paper, oh, so muted, almost the same color on black. Okay, good to know, good to know, good to know. Yeah, a lot of these like lighter colors, like this, they're all so similar on black. Like it really does kind of eat a lot of these colors that it is alive. Let's see if we can get your smile in here. Oh, that lays over super nicely. Too bad I fucked it up. I do wish that it came with like a navy blue. For like strictly moon purposes. I wish it came with a navy blue. Because like this dark blue is nice, but I would like to shade with something darker that is not black. Okay, yeah, see, like right now I wish I just had one that was a step darker than this that wasn't black. Yeah, so I'm gonna fuss around with this a little more and be right back because this is dying. Alright, if I cut my head off this whole time, no one say anything. I'm new, okay? I'm new. Alright, it's been a couple of days. I'm still not sure how to feel about them, I'm gonna be so honest. The texture is super interesting. The usability of water, I'm gonna have to use like a heavier weight paper for that. Because every single time I've tried to use water, it's kind of messed up. But I tried another kind of like full portrait, stayed in my comfort zone, if you will, of sun. Like on this paper, I swatched all of them as well. And in order to make sure that it doesn't come over here, I usually take a paper towel and like rub on them all so that they're not gonna smudge anywhere. But that's me being cautious. I didn't do it on this side. And you can see that it didn't transfer over here at all. But I think that's because I like super tried to blend that side. I did try the scratch method though. I tried to scratch out. In my heart of hearts, he has a tooth gap, okay? But I scratched out in here, and that seems to have kind of worked. Like, in a painterly kind of way. This one you can see, that was me, that was my hands. But you can see that moon kind of transferred over here, so I think that it doesn't transfer as bad as I thought it was going to originally. But if there is like a definite buildup on the page, you'll know which pieces are gonna transfer, right? Surprisingly, I think I like using it the best on black paper because you can see how the layers build on top of each other, and that's really cool to me. And also something you can't see on the white. I wish you could on the white, but I think because white's like a highlight and not a background, like a dark tone, you're not gonna see as much value in the shades, if that makes sense. I don't know. Color theory is like back here in the filing cabinet, not up here. So I could be very wrong, but I like drawing on black with them a lot. Would I buy them again? If they ran out if all of them ran out completely, maybe. I don't know. I think to feel them for the first time, I think it's worth asking your friends if they own them. I think it's worth asking someone else if you can borrow theirs first. Better like buy the smaller size. I know that they come in like 3 different sizes. This is the biggest one. And I feel like we're missing some colors. Like I feel like we don't have a dark purple. I feel like we don't have like a navy blue. We have a lot of light tones, but we don't have a lot of like the darker tones that I like to use for shading. We just have black, and black is a very harsh color. So because of that, I use black very sparingly, if at all. On this one, I used it, you can probably not even see it because of the glare on the window. It's fine, we'll hold it down here. On this one, I used a little bit of black in here to like really push things back, but it does get very dark very quickly, and the black does not move as much as other colors. So because you can see kind of where you originally applied the color, here, hold on. I have a better show of this than on there. Oh, let's check on Sun. I haven't opened this. So let's see how smudgerooskied this got. Not at all. Okay. So granted, I haven't been like rubbing it around, right? But like closing the page, I'm not seeing a whole lot of transfer anywhere. You get a little bit of red, but that's okay. I think I'm okay with that. But you can see what I'm talking about here. Like if you lay a dark color, I was just fussing around with what the colors would do and blending. You can see that you will always be able to see where your colors are laying down. Right here is kind of the best example of what I'm talking about, and like down here. You will always see where the edge of your coloring went. You're not gonna get a whole lot of like a smooth blend unless you're using a lot of really, really light colors. So here we used the like light blue then the dark blue, and that blended really beautifully. But when you try to go from like the neon yellow to the blue, you're not gonna get like a smooth gradient of green in between. So you have to be okay with that. I think that just means you have to be a little bit more okay with being painterly and not fully rendered, you know? So they're fun. I like them. I don't think I would buy them again just because I have a lot of them. Like, I don't think I'm gonna run out of these anytime soon. I think I used the dark blue the most. And let's see. Let's compare the blue and how much I used to one that I like didn't hardly use at all. Okay. So this one is one that I've hardly used. There we go. And this is one that I used a lot in the past couple of days. Yeah, see, really not much. I'm a lot less afraid of pushing down on these than I initially was, but with saying that, I don't like resting my hand on them. That's for sure. I'm not as afraid of pushing very hard with these as I was in the beginning if I'm afraid of using using a lot of product. But I am afraid of them smudging. You can see it on here, like where I would rest my hand. It definitely moved most on the Bristol board, really, which doesn't surprise me. Here I didn't use any water, so I used them a little bit more as an oil pastel than I did kind of for their intended use. I like this. I like being able to build things up, I think. And because you can build things up really nicely on black, then they work really nicely. But I feel like on white, I'd like to try on a gray. I like to try on a gray tone, like mid-tone paper, because I like it on black. It's not my favorite on white because it looks very flat. I'd love to try it on a mid-tone paper, but I don't have any of that, so test that shit yourself. I don't know. So kind of a give and take, I guess. I don't know. I thoroughly stand by my stance of if someone you know has them, definitely ask them first before purchasing all of them. Also thoroughly stand by the idea of maybe buying a smaller set than the whole thing if you're not super sure. And if you're not super sure and you like have a kid, buy them. Who gives a fuck, right? Buy them, and like if you're not gonna use them, just hand them over to the kid. Because I think kids would have a fucking blast with these. And they do rinse off fairly easily. I like used my hand a lot to wipe off my brush. I've always done that. And like I went to wash my hands after like using the restroom, and it came off really like fairly quick. I think I let it sit up here a little bit longer, and there's definitely a little bit, the tiniest little bit of it still left there even after a shower. But like, if your kid draws on your wall, just wipe it off. Like, I feel like these would be way easier than, like, say, a Crayola marker. Then that's old school Crayola marker. I don't know about the new kids. I don't fuck with Crayola very often anymore. In the washability aspect, I believe it. In the try them out for the gag, but maybe don't buy all of them if you are strictly a painter, right? So, I don't know. I don't think I would buy them again. Not because I think they're horrible, just because I don't feasibly know how often I'm going to use these, unless I very much go out of my way to use them, right? Will they be like regular in my everyday art practice? Probably for like the next couple of weeks, just because I would like to do more on black paper and see if I can get better. But like in the crazy long term, is this a medium that I think I'm going to be using forever and I'm super in love with, and like the idea of the mark making is really exciting? No, probably not. These are fun to goof around with. But like in a super professional sense, like I'm a printmaker, and I don't know. They're not like something you need to write home about, but if you run across them in public, yeah, they're fine. Those are my conclusive thoughts on these. See how long I yapped? I don't know, probably 14 hours. Yeah, thank you for sitting with me and these funny little bear crayons. Try them out. I'm gonna give you the most conflicting, non-conclusive advice ever. Try them out, maybe. Yeah, so that's really it. Thanks for sitting with me forever. I appreciate you. See you later. Maybe. Maybe I'll never upload again and this will be the last time you ever see my face. I don't know. I never know anything.